Viewers, I have to tell you this with a degree of concern. It's perhaps the biggest story out of phase 2. You may remember that in phase 1, viewers, voters dodged terrorists to cast their vote for India, for the idea of democracy, because the ballot guarantees them equal stake in India's society. Now, viewers, all of us, wherever we are, feel the call of our constitutional duty on voting day. At least most of us do, and it's only usually something quite extraordinary that prevents us from going out there and exercising our franchise. Viewers, today something extraordinary in a bad way happened. Look at the pictures on the screen. To one side, you see dozens of Hindus. Look to the left. Dozens of Hindus who are holding up their voter ID cards to the camera in a gesture of outrage and protest. They have been blocked, viewers, yes, cynically blocked from exercising their democratic right to cast their ballot. This is happening in Raiganj in Bengal, the same constituency where, as you can see, to the right of your screens, viewers, till just the other day, Bangladeshi stars were being embraced by the Trinamool Congress. Yes, our correspondent Tamal Saha's investigation exposes the murder of democracy, or a flawed system where Bangladeshis are allowed to campaign, but Indian citizens are not, because they happen to belong to a particular denomination, in this case, the Hindu faith. Now, this is palpably absurd, viewers. This is not the British Raj. This is happening right under the noses of a state that is administered by Indians. But in Indians with a jaundiced outlook, viewers, with a jaundiced outlook, a sectarian mindset, a communal outlook. And I want you to listen to these individuals who were blocked. Tamal Saha spoke to these individuals and hear them tell you how they were stopped from exercising their constitutionally mandated duty, their right, viewers. Listen to this first.
যেহেতু এখন দেখা যাচ্ছে যে দুটো দলাদলি হয়ে যাচ্ছে, যেহেতু দলের মাধ্যমে হিন্দু মুসলিমের মাধ্যমে ওটা হয়ে যাচ্ছে, আর আমরা হিন্দু আর ওরা মুসলিম, যে কারণে একটা হিন্দু মুসলিমের মধ্যে আলাদা আলাদা একটা সিস্টেম এসে গেছে, এই কারণেই আমার ভয়।
তো ওখানে কোনো হিন্দুদের ভোট দিতে দেয়নি?
না।
আপনারা হিন্দু বলে ভোট দিতে পারেননি?
না।
तो हम जा रहे थे वोट ही देखने के लिए कि कैसा हो रहा है, और वह सोचे थे वोट देंगे सुबह सुबह। तो जैसे हम गए तो वहाँ मेरे सामने भी एक और इंसान था, उसको पकड़ लिया, उसको पकड़ के पहले 2-4 मुक्का दिया, फिर भी मैं जा रहा हूँ, और देखो वो इंसान था, उनको भी मारा था।
अच्छा, ठीक।
तो जैसे मैं गया तो मुझे पकड़ के क्या किया, मेरे साइकिल को पहले हाथ पर करने लगा, फिर वहाँ से बम्बू निकाला, बम्बू निकाल के मुझे मारने लगा, लेकिन मैं तो मुझे मारा नहीं, मेरे साइकिल को मारा था। फिर पीछे मैं जब आने लगा तो मेरे पीछे की पीठ के पीछे मुझे मारने लगा, तभी से फिर मैं चला आया।
Tamal spoke to several individuals who gave him testimonies about how they were blocked only because they happened to belong to a particular faith. Our correspondent Tamal Saha then decided to investigate further, only to find that not only have Hindu voters been blocked, but someone has in fact cast a vote in their name. So they're not allowed into the polling booth, but someone went in and cast their vote. This is the equivalent, viewers, of booth capturing. You keep out individuals who are supposed to vote, you send in a decoy pretending to be that individual, and perhaps there is complicity at some level, and this goes unnoticed, and that individual casts his vote for the party he's asked to cast the vote for. And there's no guessing here which that party could be. Now, viewers, Tamal Saha entered one of these polling stations, these polling booths, and this is what he found. This is what he found: brazen subversion of our democracy. This is a big story, viewers, a big story, because I can tell you that this formula may be being replicated even as we speak across several thousand polling booths. Watch this. Watch this investigation.
आप भी नहीं वोट डाल पाए?
नहीं, बोल रहा है कि हो गया मेरा। और
क्या नाम है आपका?
एक आदमी बोल रहा था।
एक सेकंड, आस्ते। क्या नाम है आपका?
किशन पॉल।
किशन पॉल, देखिए एक बार। इनका भी हो गया। कौन दिया इनका वोट? कौन दिया इनका वोट? आप इनका चेहरा देखिए, ये चेहरा सेम है। आप देख के बताइए, आप आइडेंटिफिकेशन ऑफिसर है ना? ये चेहरा सेम है। द प्रिसाइडिंग ऑफिसर, आई एम सरप्राइज्ड। व्हाट्स गोइंग ऑन? क्या हुआ है सर? वोट कैसे हो गया दोनों इंसान का, जिसका वोट हुआ ही नहीं, जिसने वोट डाला ही नहीं? सर, आपका नाम क्या है? मैं आपका कार्ड देखूं एक बार। आप प्रिसाइडिंग ऑफिसर है सर। सुबह से कितना बजे से है आप इधर? कौन आया था? कौन बंदे थे? सच बता दीजिए।
कौन चीज से?
कौन आके इन लोगों का वोट डाल के गया?
पता नहीं।
लेकिन कोई कैसे डाल सकता है इंसान अगर खुद वोट ना डाले? आप कैसे कह सकते हैं पता नहीं?
हम तो इसमें पेपर से एंट्री कर रहे हैं सर।
आप पेपर से एंट्री करते हैं और बूथ के अंदर जो हो रहा है वो आपका रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी नहीं है।
आइडेंटिफिकेशन हो रहा है।
दिस इज अमेजिंग। आप उनके ऊपर दोष दे रहे हैं, वो आपके ऊपर दोष दे रहे हैं। आपने किसी को इन्फॉर्म किया अभी तक कुछ गलत हो रहा है इसमें?
Well, Tamal Saha, one has to congratulate you. This is a fine piece of investigative journalism, subversion of democracy happening there. No answers coming from the officers on the ground. This is completely inexplicable. What's going on there?
Rahul, it's shocking and to a great extent it's sad for a journalist who is working in Bengal. Well, every time election happens, and this is not a generic comment that I'm making, be it Panchayat election, there are visuals which clearly show that bombs being hurled behind us and we are running for our lives. Just not in Panchayat election, in previous elections too, journalists had to duck bombs and bullets to save themselves while trying to report incidents of violence erupting during the polling day. And this is, once again I say, not a generic comment, this is not generalization. Here in this case, what happened when we went to the village and villagers erupted in anger and they showed their voting slips which did not have the tick mark that ideally happens once you produce your voting slip before you being allowed to walk up to the EVM machine and then press the button to cast your vote. There were no tick mark on all these voting slips. And once I started investigating, went to the polling station, inside the polling booth, the presiding officer and the first polling officer were absolutely clueless, and they were taken aback because they confessed that their votes have already been cast, wherein individuals showed their voting slips, they showed their fingers without ink, suggesting that they themselves have not cast their votes. So yes, it's fair to infer that it's nothing but subversion of democracy. But Rahul, it equally hurts when someone questions such kind of journalism and gives any political color to it. It isn't. And reporters are being heckled, reporters are being beaten up today. One journalist from another channel had a head injury. He has been rushed back to Kolkata. And these facts do not lie. These facts are facts because there was violence. First thing first, why should there be a incident of violence on the polling day, and why should people be stopped from casting their votes, exercising their democratic right? It's not about Hindus or Muslims. It's about one individual not being allowed to cast his or her vote, and we will be fighting for that cause. We will be fighting for every individual. Here in the case, we have 600 people on record suggesting they were not really allowed to cast their votes, but they also suggested there are other villages too where the same story has repeated. So yes, it's a very sad reality, possibly the dark underbelly of Bengal.
Well, Tamal, stay on with us. This is not a coincidence. It is not even an inadvertent error. There is quite possibly a design at work here. Tamal Saha has blown the lid on this when he managed to catch a local imam on candid camera. When you listen to this imam, viewers, you will realize that there is perhaps a system at work here. Listen to this.
ये मुसलमानों में बीजेपी का नहीं आएगा, नो एकदम ना के बराबर है। हमारे मस्जिदों में हमारे इसमें जो बातचीत हो रही है, हम लोगों से बातचीत हो रही है, हम उससे पूछे, उससे वो उनसे पूछा, वो उनसे पूछा जो भाई क्या खबर है, कहाँ का क्या पोजीशन है, अब इस इलाके का क्या पोजीशन है। अब इस इलाके में, ये इलाके में टीएमसी ज़्यादा पड़ेगा। यहाँ से 12 किलोमीटर निकलने के बाद वहाँ जो है 50% मुसलमानों का वोट टीएमसी और सीपीएम में जाएगा।
क्या जगह का नाम है?
वालपोखर से निकलने के बाद, उसके बाद मस्जिद में हमारे बयान होते हैं। इस चीज़ से हम उस नुमाइंदों को चुनिए जो हमारे काम आए। किसी का नाम लेकर, कोई पार्टी का नाम
लेकिन ये होता है कि जो हमारे काम आए उनको चुनिए।
बीजेपी को रोकना है हर हालत पर। बीजेपी को हाथ पकड़ के हो, पैर पकड़ के हो, आदमी को कह के सुन के हो, खुशामदी करके हो, बीजेपी को रोको।
और आप लोगों को लगता है कि आपकी ये 49% वोट के सहारे आप लोगों को
हम बीजेपी को रोक देंगे इंशाल्लाह। हमारे हम तो इसके गारंटी देते हैं, हम रोकेंगे।
Well, viewers, the plot to block Hindu voters even finds mention in an intelligence report accessed by Times Now's internal security editor Nikunj Garg. I want to bring him in. This particular report, viewers, and it's breaking on your screens now, clearly proves that this was a pre-planned subversion of democracy. This report tracks the gang of Zakir Hussain, an alleged TMC leader. For the first time, a TMC link now coming to this diabolical plot. This individual, Zakir Hussain, is believed to be behind the attack on BJP MP Muhammad Salim. And this is what Times Now is exclusively accessed. And I want to put out that for our viewers, this is what is being revealed, that TMC Islampur blockhead Zakir Hussain has an illegally armed gang. The gang is threatening Hindus in their respective areas against voting. It's very, very serious, Nikunj, because what it suggests is a particular community is being systematically blocked.
Well, it indeed is very, very serious, Rahul, and it is just not that we are putting it out on television screen right now. It has been going on for now 3 months. The Subsidiary Intelligence Bureau and the other arms of the central government, in the sense that the field units posted there have been sending alarming signals. Both the Election Commission of India and the Ministry of Home Affairs are seized of this matter, and that is why probably the largest number of booths were declared sensitive and hypersensitive in West Bengal, where the deployment of the central paramilitary troops becomes a must once a booth is declared a sensitive or hypersensitive booth.
Right.
But what is shocking is, what alarms me is that despite knowing all of this, the Ministry of Home Affairs has not shown the kind of alacrity that it should have shown, so that we shouldn't have been seeing the pictures that Tamal brought to us today, a complete direct subversion of democracy.
Well, I'll come out to you. Just stay on with us. I want to open this out for a quick discussion, get a particular set of views in on this story. Nikunj, don't go away. I'll be coming back to you because there are other intelligence inputs that Nikunj has which need to be reported, because they will convey to you the extent at which this subversion is taking place. And I want to begin this evening with a straightforward question to Tausif Ahmed, an advocate and a self-professed TMC supporter. I want to ask you, sir, a very simple question. You have a situation in Bengal where Bangladeshis are pressed to campaign, foreigners that is, Bideshis, to campaign for a political parties, but Hindu citizens are disallowed from exercising their own constitutionally derived right to vote. Why this iniquity? Why this iniquity, sir?
Rahul, just few minutes ago, your reporter Tamal Saha just mentioned that this is not about Hindu and Muslim. So why are you giving a religious color to this? Can you please explain?
Am I the Imam?
Why are you giving?
Am I the Imam, sir, who you heard a few minutes ago, who gave it a absolutely religious color? Am I
Rahul,
those?
what did the
No, no.
Imam
Am I
say,
those?
Rahul?
No, no. One second.
Rahul,
One
what
second.
did
No,
the
and
Imam
there-
say,
there is
Tausif,
Rahul?
one
also an
second.
Imam of
Mr.
Asansol.
Tausif,
No, no,
one
Rahul,
second,
what
one
did
There
the
second.
Imam
was
say?
riots even
Allow me, you've
last
asked
year
me a
and the
question,
Imam
let
of
me explain.
Asansol prevented the riots.
Tausif, let
The-
me explain. You've asked me a question, then wait for the answer. You can't road
Yes, how
rail
do
me.
you justify this
So,
giving a
so let me
religious
tell
color?
you, let me
Yes.
tell you,
Imam said
let me
anything,
tell you, one
Rahul?
second please.
Rahul.
One second
Rahul,
please,
I
Mr.
don't think
Tanveer
the
Ahmed,
Imam
stop
said
heckling
anything
me,
wrong.
please. Please, stop heckling. You've asked me questions, let me
you can't-
clarify.
No, Rahul, you
Let
can't
me clarify,
really
sir.
Make this entirely
The
polarized between
individuals
Hindus and
who have
Muslims.
spoken to us, you want to
No,
hear
no,
them
no,
again?
the
Let me play out their
diabolical
sound
act is
bites.
done by the BJP.
Let us play out the testimonies of the people who have been
Rahul,
blocked.
the more you
And what are they
polarize, it
saying?
is going
And
to
who are they
destroy
blaming?
the-
Let's play it out.
destroy the
I want to play it out.
harmony,
I want to play it out, sir. If you haven't paid attention, listen to this. I will play out the testimonials of the individuals who are holding up those placards and who are they blaming? Why are they blaming? You can go and ask them those questions. Stop interrogating the media that is doing its job. Stop trying to intimidate the messengers who are bringing out stories, risking their lives. And I want to show you a visual, viewers, before we play out that. Here is what happened to a reporter who tried to. Tamal Saha braved in, risked his life. He went in there. But this is what happened to another reporter who tried to do the same story in a neighboring district. This is what they did in Raiganj. This is what happened to him. He was beaten black and blue. This is how, this is how a systematic attempt is being made to try and muzzle the press so that they don't report the truth. This happens in no other state, sir. No other state. 186 seats have gone to the polls. It hasn't happened. But it is happening in West Bengal, and that answer needs to be provided. I want to play out the testimonial. Play it out. Let's play out the testimonial. These are the people. This is what allegation they are making. Go question them.
যেহেতু এখন দেখা যাচ্ছে যে দুটো দলাদলি হয়ে যাচ্ছে, যেহেতু দলের মাধ্যমে হিন্দু মুসলিমের মাধ্যমে ওটা হয়ে যাচ্ছে, আর আমরা হিন্দু আর ওরা মুসলিম, যে কারণে একটা হিন্দু মুসলিমের মধ্যে আলাদা আলাদা একটা সিস্টেম এসে গেছে, এই কারণেই আমার ভয়।
তো ওখানে কোনো হিন্দুদের ভোট দিতে দেয়নি?
না।
আপনারা হিন্দু বলে ভোট দিতে পারেন
না।
तो हम जा रहे थे वोट ही देखने के लिए कि कैसा हो रहा है, और वह सोचे थे वोट देंगे सुबह सुबह। तो जैसे हम गए तो वहाँ मेरे सामने भी एक और इंसान था, उसको पकड़ लिया। उसको पकड़ के पहले 2-4 मुक्का दिया, फिर भी मैं जा रहा हूँ, और देखो वो इंसान था, उनको भी मारा था। तो जैसे मैं गया तो मुझे पकड़ के क्या किया, मेरे साइकिल को पहले हाथ पर करने लगा, फिर वहाँ से बम्बू निकाल के मुझे मारने लगा। लेकिन मैं तो, मुझे मारा नहीं, मेरे साइकिल को मारा था। फिर पीछे मैं जब आने लगा तो मेरे पीछे की पीठ के पीछे मुझे मारने लगा, तभी से फिर मैं चला आया।
Nikunj, we are being questioned. Nikunj, we are being questioned. We are being asked today, why are we suggesting that one particular community is being discriminated against the other? And here it is, your own intel note exposes the pre-planning. It tells you that TMC Islampur blockhead Zakir Hussain has an illegally armed gang that is going around there targeting individuals of one community. Now, I think all of us today should take note of this and stop these people rather than trying to suppress this by trying to insinuate motives. Nikunj.
Well, Rahul, 3/4 of the entire political structure in West Bengal, which includes the entire state, first of all, the state government employees who refuse to do polling duties without the presence of the central paramilitary troops, then the entire opposition, then the state government's own staff roped in for the polling duties, refused to join duties, saying that they are not safe, then the press persons, then the individual's testimony on camera saying we are being stopped from voting because we are Hindus, then the consistent intelligence reports, and I'm saying again, repeating again, both the constitutional bodies like the Election Commission of India and the administrative ministry like the Ministry of Home Affairs is seized of this matter. It is not for no reason that the Home Minister speaking yesterday said that at one point of time you are instigating people to attack central paramilitary troops. On the other hand, your people are refusing to do duties. All of this is on record, and who is being blamed? The media. I think, these are the individuals who are doing a disservice even to the minority community because they are not ready to accept the blame where it is due.
Yes,
each community
Anand
has some
Ranganathan,
rotten apples. We should be ready to accept
Anand
the blame.
Ranganathan, the questions
Nobody's
that we should be
painting a
asking
community
today,
black, but each
before I
community
bring
has
in
bad
GVL Narasimha Rao, before I bring in the JDS, one second, Tanveer Ahmed.
Muslim card.
Tanveer Ahmed, calm down. Yesterday, the Bharatiya Janata Party gave
Rahul,
a
I have
ticket.
certain facts
No, one second.
from
Gave a ticket
2015
to a
to
Sadhvi.
today.
Look, Mr. Tanveer Ahmed,
Mr.
either
Tanveer,
we
the
can
question's
shout
been asked
the
to me.
entire evening
Can
or
you
we
be
can do
courteous,
this
please?
peacefully.
Sadhvi was
Now, if you want to
accused
shout,
in
sir,
Indian terrorism.
I will ask you to leave.
Sadhvi
Please,
was accused
I'm not
in
going to have
terrorism.
people shouting and screaming on this show. I don't have the physical power, sir, to keep shouting to tell you to keep quiet. I'm not going to talk over you. You have a problem with maintaining discipline? Then go and join another channel where they acknowledge all of this. Don't sit here. So I'm asking you to allow this debate to be conducted.
Rahul, you're getting personal.
No,
now,
I'm not
Rahul.
getting personal,
You're
sir.
getting
But I'm
personal,
tired of
Rahul.
shouting and
I
asking
am
you to
actually
maintain a certain
sensibly
degree of
debating,
discipline. Block him,
sensibly
ask him to
asking
leave.
your question.
Okay, Anand Ranganathan, I want to ask you a small question. Anand Ranganathan, this is a very, very simple issue here. The issue is that one particular community is finding itself discriminated against. Yesterday, the BJP handed out a ticket to Sadhvi Pragya, and the opposition came out and said this is an attempt to intimidate the Muslim community, to intimidate the law, to intimidate the investigative machinery, to intimidate the courts. So why shouldn't this particular investigation throw up questions in the reverse direction? Anand Ranganathan.
Yeah, thanks very much, Rahul, for having. First of all, I must congratulate you and Mr. Saha for this very brave investigative journalism. I dare say, I think he needs police protection today, tomorrow, and the day after. I think what he has exposed, I would say, is just the tip of the iceberg of what we've been seeing happening in Bengal over the past 6 months. It is astonishing. I mean, we talk about, maybe disparagingly, that India is a nascent democracy. Let me say, Bengal is now a nascent dictatorship, and it's blooming into a full-fledged. What is happening? You're talking about widespread intimidation, voter intimidation. You're talking about banning of films. You're talking of political murders. You're talking of all sorts of bomb-making factories in TMC MPs and MLAs' houses, and now proxy voting. And again, you know, if the same thing, if a whole Muslim village, let me be honest here, if a Muslim village had been disenfranchised as a Hindu village has been, for the next 2 days, you know, the whole media would have been up in arms saying, oh my God, fascism is here. And where is the intolerance brigade right now? Where are the award Wapsi gangs? And let me give you one data, you know, because you can do political to and froing. You know, in the recently held panchayat elections, 20,000 panchayats went unelected. And people say, you know, this has been happening. A lot of TMC supporters there. Now just give me 10 seconds. Yes, it has been happening. I just want to demonstrate the scale of what is happening here. It is unreal. So in 1993, 2.5% seats went uncontested. This is under the communists. In 1998, 1%. In 2003, 10%. In 2008, 5%. Then TMC came to power. In 2013, 11%. In 2018, 34%. From 5% to 34%. And people are saying things have been happening like this all the time. Whom are you kidding? You have journalists being thrashed, and I repeat this, Mr. Saha needs police protection.
Well, sir, let me tell you, this is, no, I am very glad that you have mentioned this, Anand Ranganathan, because you have emboldened me now to come out and tell you a few facts.
His house was destroyed.
Yes, Tamal Saha has found himself being persecuted over the last 2 years. And
dangerous.
This is documented.
I'm not joking, it's dangerous.
This is documented, summoned to police stations, squatted down for 9-10 hours at a time. This is happening to him because he has the courage to hold up the mirror to an administration that is quite frankly being pulled up by the Supreme Court. And I'll tell you what the Supreme Court said, Ashutosh ji. It observed that democracy was not working at the ground level in Bengal after thousands of panchayat seats went uncontested, Ashutosh ji. No one raises a finger in the liberal press about what actually Anand Ranganathan says is a nascent dictatorship. Had this happened in a BJP-ruled state, people would have said fascism is knocking on our doors. Let's be honest. Ashutosh.
See, Rahul, I think
what I'm going to say, you will not like it.
It's okay. I'm used to it.
But I expect that you should listen to me.
Of course.
You should listen to me. If something has happened, if the few people have said somewhere in some corner of the Bengal, why your top band is writing that Hindus are blocked from voting or Hindus cannot vote. It's a very offensive, intimidating top band which you are giving, because you are trying to journalize that in entire West Bengal Hindus cannot vote. It's very misleading in that sense. I can understand that in a certain quarter of West Bengal, in certain district, in certain village, in certain mohalla, or in certain 2-3 districts, few people might be indulging into this. Maybe they have a state patronage. But to paint the picture that no Hindu is allowed to vote in West Bengal, I think that is not the story which unfortunately we are getting the message out of this story. And I'll expect you, with due respect to you and your channel, that this journalization should not happen. This is what I'm trying to say. If there is a gang which is indulging into this, this tape should be given to Election Commission. Election Commission should immediately react on this.
Election Commission has reacted.
Be arrested.
They are rushing companies to Bengal. And let me tell you, sir, today only 3 constituencies went to elections: Jalpaiguri, Darjeeling and Raiganj. That is why we have used Bengal in the overarching sense of the term, because that's where the election took place, 3. And one of which has seen widespread.
Rahul,
and the statistics are there with Nikunj, and I will put them out. Let the BJP come in on this. Let the GVL Narasimha Rao, Member of Parliament.
I still beg to differ.
Okay, you might, sir. We are all free to disagree with each other. We are all free to disagree with each other. You are well entitled to your point of view, sir. I will never muzzle you. I will never muzzle you, and I will not even want to correct you.
Is not fair.
I will not want to correct you, sir, because
I do not agree with you even one.
We don't have to agree, sir. We can agree to disagree. GVL Narasimha Rao comes in. GVL Narasimha Rao.
Yeah, Rahul, I'm really amazed that a journalist like Ashutosh is offended, he is shocked, and he thinks this generalization should not happen. This happens on a very large scale and a widespread phenomenon in Bengal. But the same journalistic tribe to which Mr. Ashutosh belongs, they will call entire India intolerant if one Kalburgi is killed in a very, very shocking incident. Kalburgi is killed somewhere, or 1 or 2 people belonging to the minority faith are killed brutally. Entire India becomes intolerant. Entire Hindu society is called into question. Entire BJP, and forgetting that even though state governments are ruled by the Congress, like Karnataka, we are blamed. So I hope, why is this double standard, Ashutosh? Why do people of your ilk get only shocked when a phenomenon that is
Rahul,
widely prevalent in West Bengal is exposed?
GVL Narasimha Rao is
But
saying.
while three or four very unfortunate incidents in different parts of the country that happens, you want to go and shout from the rooftops, you want to abuse India all over the world. I hope you also should get shocked at that time.
Okay. Part 2, 1 second. Part 2 of this investigation is going to unravel. Viewers, in just about 3 minutes when we return from this short break. Stay with us. We will explain why Hindus get a raw deal under Mamata Banerjee's government in Bengal. Now, when I bring out the hard facts, viewers, after this short break, we will engage with Mr. Ashutosh and the others on this panel. Pavan Verma stays with us. We'll come right back to you, Mr. Verma. Thank you so much for being patient. I've saved the best for last, quite frankly. I would like your input on this. You're always a voice of reason, calm, and very importantly, a pointed interjection. So we come back in 3 minutes, no less, to you, sir. Please, I beg your indulgence. Ongoing investigation, viewers. What we've been reporting is a subversion of democracy. We believe there is a design behind it. It's pre-planned and very well contemplated. Nikunj Garg joins us because there are more details emerging. Intel notes and reports that have been accessed. Nikunj, what we are being told is that approximately 50% of the votes in Raiganj's constituency might have been rigged. This is what the intelligence seems to be suggesting. Rigging has happened in about 160 booths in Raiganj seat, a majority of rigging in the Islampur subdivision where we were reporting from. Can you elaborate on this, Nikunj? And we are being told that one particular 6,000 Hindu votes have been blocked. How does this happen?
Well, Rahul, this is a fairly detailed intelligence report, and if you see the numbers, the number of booths, the number of polling stations, number of particular pockets in which this parliamentary constituency is divided, it's all fairly detailed. And about the number of votes and the number of votes which have been blocked, also the reports have been collated with fairly fair thoroughness. So therefore, I would say that there is a very large possibility that these reports now, with the in the custody of the Election Commission of India, would have a bearing on the decision that the Election Commission takes from here on the fate of the elections in this constituency that have seen also fairly large scale of violence, even journalists being beaten up there. But other than that, the really worrisome aspect, Rahul, that is coming out right now is that under the cover of darkness, the EVMs in the booths where the state administration or the ruling dispensation thinks majority of votes have gone to the Bharatiya Janata Party or not to the TMC can also be attacked, are the fresh intelligence inputs that are coming in at this point of time. So I would say that it's a fairly alarming situation, and I was a little surprised when Ashutosh took great umbrage to the top band of our channel, because when incidents of cow vigilantism happen, nobody says that one district of Rajasthan cow vigilantism is happening. And similarly, as a journalist, he should have actually been shaken to the core by the kind of booth capturing and rigging that is available on camera, Rahul. We all used to see it during the mid-90s, and after that, nobody has ever seen this kind of open, bloodletting, mindless booth capturing and rigging right in the midst of the parliamentary polling process. So this is, I think, absolutely shocking. And Ashutosh, if he's wearing his journalistic hat right now, should have actually been more concerned about that.
Okay, well, we'll come out to him in just a few moments. Pawan Verma, look.
Can I add something to this quickly, Rahul?
1 second, Anand Ranganathan. I want to bring in Mr. Pawan Verma. Mr. Pawan Verma, April 2019, permission denied for Ram Navami bike rallies in Kolkata. February 2017, rupees 2,815 crores for minority affairs, only rupees 920 crores for women welfare. Idle immersion banned post 6 p.m. in the wake of Muharram. September 2017, the courts had to step in there. September 2013, stipends to imams, muezzims up 50,000 per month, scrapped by the High Court. So there seems to be an appeasement of one particular community over the other. Mr. Pawan Verma.
Rahul, I want to make a few quick points. I have been listening patiently.
Thank you, sir.
First of all, what we have seen in your investigative footage is shocking. I say it's shocking because although I do not like to visualize any situation or even elections from an exclusively Hindu or Muslim prism, what is shocking is that the fundamental right available to citizens to cast their vote in the world's largest democracy is being held to hostage. And it doesn't matter whether it's in a village or in a subdivision, if there is concrete evidence that it is happening. And if it is possible that it is happening as part of a larger or planned exercise, then the question arises, why are those who are behind this, who are guilty, not being dealt with effectively and in a deterrent manner by the Election Commission and the authorities that are ordained to take action in such matters? This is very simply put. I mean, I don't want to say that only Hindus are being deprived. Perhaps in this case it is true. The issue here is far more serious, Rahul. What your report is showing, it is showing that it is possible even today in 2019 to have an organized campaign to prevent people from voting, to have proxy voting, to use muscle power to prevent voting, and that is a great challenge to all of us who believe that we are a democracy and that we have an election commission with all the authority at its command to conduct elections under the provisions of Article 324 of the Constitution. Secondly, I just want to mention in passing, we don't want Bangladeshi actors participating in our election campaign. This is an elections for Indians, by Indians, of Indians. And they should have been stopped, and I am glad they have been. So, as far as your footage is concerned, I want to say, what is the EC doing? I believe you say they have been responding to it. And the other question that perturbs me, that if Intel reports have been available for some time, why was preemptive action not taken?
Well, let me tell you, sir, that as you know, when the demand came for increasing central forces in Bengal, you know which party opposed that tooth and nail. In fact, there is footage of leaders of the TMC coming out and saying that if these individuals are here, lynch them, beat them up, smash them up. I can play those sound bites. And I share, sir, your astonishment that today we have a situation where the powers that are looking the other way. And perhaps it is because, and I just want to play out this little instance when Tamal Saha enters one of these polling stations and you see that either the electoral officers have been intimidated into submission or they are complicit because certain basic checks have not taken place. Just watch this once. And Ashutosh, you need to respond. Perhaps you should be asking the TMC rather than Times Now. Maybe you've got the T confused. You should be asking the TMC to either denounce this or, for the sake of a free and fair election, go to the Election Commission and seek re-polling in these booths instead of attacking Times Now. Nonetheless, I'll take it on the chin. I want you to listen to this interaction between Tamal Saha and these polling officers. Watch this once.
आप भी नहीं वोट डाल पाए?
नहीं, बोल रहा है कि हो गया मेरा। और
क्या नाम है आपका?
एक आदमी बोल रहा था।
एक सेकंड, आस्ते। क्या नाम है आपका?
किशन पॉल।
किशन पॉल, देखिए एक बार। इनका भी हो गया। कौन दिया इनका वोट? कौन दिया इनका वोट? आप इनका चेहरा देखिए, ये चेहरा सेम है। आप देख के बताइए, आप आइडेंटिफिकेशन ऑफिसर है ना? ये चेहरा सेम है। सर, आपका नाम क्या है? मैं आपका कार्ड देखूं एक बार। आप प्रिसाइडिंग ऑफिसर है सर। सुबह से कितना बजे से है आप इधर? कौन आया था? कौन बंदे थे? सच बता दीजिए।
कौन चीज से?
कौन आके इन लोगों का वोट डाल के गया?
पता नहीं।
लेकिन कोई कैसे डाल सकता है इंसान अगर खुद वोट ना डाले? आप कैसे कह सकते हैं पता नहीं?
हम तो इसमें पेपर से एंट्री कर रहे हैं सर।
आप पेपर से एंट्री करते हैं और बूथ के अंदर जो हो रहा है वो आपका रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी नहीं है।
आइडेंटिफिकेशन हो रहा है।
दिस इज अमेजिंग। आप उनके ऊपर दोष दे रहे हैं, वो आपके ऊपर दोष दे रहे हैं। आपने किसी को इन्फॉर्म किया अभी तक कुछ गलत हो रहा है इसमें?
वो तो प्रिसाइडिंग साहब करेगा।
The presiding officer looking the other way, the officer who checks the rolls looks the other way, passes the buck. Ashutosh ji, what is going on?
जी
आप बताएं सर, हमसे सवाल पूछेंगे कि ममता बनर्जी से?
let me complete. Let me say, I stand by every word I say.
Okay.
And I firmly believe that this intelligence report, if it is by central government, I do not trust at all.
Okay.
The footage you have shown, there might be localized incidents. I do not disagree with that. But the question which Pawanji has asked is a very pertinent question. What is Election Commission doing in this country? Why Election Commission is not taking action? If there was an intelligence report, was intelligence report shared with Election Commission? If shared with Election Commission, was Election Commission sleeping on this? On this ground, it's a legitimate ground to ask resignation of the Election Commission completely. If you got the intelligence report, still you are not acting. Why are you there? I had covered election commission when TN Session was there, when James Lingdo was there, when MS Gill was there, and I had seen how they used to act.
Okay.
Today, the situation has come back, come to this far, that there is an intelligence report and election commission doesn't want to act.
Okay.
What a funny situation is this?
Fair enough.
This
you
is
know, we
bizarre.
can blame the election
This is
commission.
bizarre. And I have a,
And
I
you're
have a
within your
problem
rights
with
to do
Times
so,
Now for
and
the
we
sim-
must
no, no,
ask
no.
those
I have a
questions.
problem with the Times Now for the simple reason, with your screaming headline, which is mischievously, I'm using the word mischievously, I'm sorry to use this word.
It's okay.
Suggesting that the
I
Hindus
don't
in this
expect
country
you, sir,
cannot
to be
vote.
neutral
That
on
is
this.
not the
It's
situation.
fine. It's
That
fine.
is not the
We are not
situation.
apologetic.
Please, for God's sake, do not
We are not
generalize
apologetic,
this.
sir. We are calling out
Rahul, you
the
must
fact
remove the
as it
word
is
Hindu
and
from
as
there.
it is being spoken,
Rahul, this
not
is
by
a
me, but by the
mischievous,
individuals who have been
misleading reporting on the
disenfranchised.
part of Times Now.
One second. And I want to tell you, we can blame the election commission, you can blame the media, you can blame even the forces, but have the guts to blame the political party that is allegedly, according to the, according to these IB reports, one of those that is complicit in this. And I want to bring in Nikunj. Nikunj wants to come in on this. He wants to raise a point. Yes, Nikunj, and I'll come out to you, GV Narasimha Rao, after that, and Anand Ranganathan. Yes, Nikunj.
Rahul, two quick points. Number one, election photo ID cards were introduced only for the singular purpose that the presiding officers or the identification officer whom Tamal was speaking to should match the photographs of the individual who was casting the ballot with the photograph on the ID card. Earlier there were no photos on the election ID cards. Point number two, on which there is great consternation about the fact that state government is absolutely kept out of the ambit of any criticism. In the electoral process, irrespective of election commission superintendence and Ministry of Home Affairs involvement due to certain security reasons, the state government concerns remains the biggest stakeholder, and the maintenance of law and order is their constitutional duty. And that's the bedrock of any constitutional democracy. Nearly 60 to 70% in each state are covered by only the state police forces. The government of India does not have that kind of wherewithal. We are peddling only half-truth when we are saying that the election commission did not do this. Where would the forces come from? I mean, they will not descend from heaven. The state armed police, wherever it is deployed, are the places where the maximum amount of rigging has allegedly taken place. So state government's responsibility cannot be brushed under the carpet at all.
Let me tell you now, I'm going to play out two sound bites. One minister, Ratna Ghosh, and another individual, Anubrata Mondol, district president of Birbhum district, both belong to the TMC. And look at the brazenness with which they are browbeating and sending out a message to central forces. Let's play this out.
ন্যায় অন্যায় গণতন্ত্র গণতন্ত্র বলে কোনো কিছু নেই। যুদ্ধে জিততে হবে, তার জন্য যে পদ্ধতি যেখানে দরকার সেই পদ্ধতি সেখানে প্রয়োগ করবেন। আমি দেখেছিলাম সেন্ট্রাল ফোর্সের তাড়া খেয়েছিলেন, মার খেয়েছিল আমাদের ছেলেরা, রক্তাক্ত হয়েছিল। সেন্ট্রাল ফোর্স আমরা পাত্তা দেব না। প্রয়োজন হলে যেখানে বাড়াবাড়ি করবে আমাদের মহিলা সংগঠনের নেতৃত্বকে বলবো ছাটা হাতে নিয়ে সেন্ট্রাল ফোর্সকে তাড়া করে এলাকা ছাড়া করে দেবে।
আপনারা ভয় পাবেন না, সেন্ট্রাল ফোর্স আসবে, ভয় পাবেন না। অন্যায় করলে আপনারা ছাড়বেন না, আমরা আছি। অন্যায় করলে ছাড়বেন না, সে যত বড়ই হরিদাস ভালো হোক, ছাড়ার কোনো জায়গা নাই। সকাল সকাল যাবেন, ভোট দেবেন, কোনো ভয় পাওয়ার কোনো কারণ নয়।
There you heard it. You heard it. There is nothing called democracy, says Ratna Ghosh. She's a minister. She's a minister. There's nothing called democracy. She says, whatever you need to do to win, you must win. And beat the central forces with brooms and sticks when you find them. Anand Ranganathan, what is this? What is this, and who can today stand and defend this? You tell me.
Rahul, yeah, but more than anything, what Ashutosh has said, alleged on Time Now, has really disappointed me, because he used to be a journalist once. Let me remind him that 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when he was with a political party, a few churches were attacked, quote unquote attacked, okay? They were actually routine burglaries. But the whole picture was given that Christians are under attack, and the same political party and Ashutosh, they packed buses and they protested and saying that communalism is here, fascism is here, Christians are under attack, save Christians. And these same guys, I don't understand. I'm an atheist, I read The Origin of Species. What's the problem? Why can't we call people Hindu or Muslim? If they read a Quran, yes, he's a Muslim, that's his political belief. If he reads Gita or something, he calls himself a Hindu. Why are you so scared of calling people Hindu and Muslim? Kya itna darte kyun bhai? It's just religion. Let me remind you, in Meerut, there is a candidate of BSP called Qureshi. He was the one who offered 51 crores to anyone who decapitated Charlie Hebdo journalists. And when terrorists did that, murdered those Charlie Hebdo journalists, this guy offered that 51 crores to those terrorists. He is a candidate, but uski baat nahi karenge. Why? Why are you scared of? It's just religion. Don't be. Stay true to your profession. Be objective. Otherwise, join a political party.
Mr. Ahmed, Tausif Ahmed, would you like to respond?
It gets my goat that there have been more than 100 communal attacks, mob attacks by Muslim mobs on Dalits and Hindus. Nobody talks of
Today
Why?
in the same
Don't be
constituency,
selective.
a Muslim candidate was attacked. How is this a Hindu-Muslim issue? If you want to report an issue against the way elections are conducted, fine, but do not give it a religious color, because even the Muslim candidate was attacked today by the goons of BJP. Please do not
Don't
try
make
to
this about religion at all.
Paint it in a religious color.
If a particular group of people, because they happen to belong to a particular religion, are being blocked, don't talk about it. I presume that will also apply to the other side. When there are lynchings, we must not talk about the religion of the person lynched. We must only talk about the law and order issue. We should not go into the pathology of this. We should ignore the pathology, because you see, it is not a democracy. It is not a democracy, so why bother with the details? Why bother with the details? GVR Narasimha Rao, why do you focus so much on the details? Why are you so obsessed with democratic order? It's not a democracy, suspend it.
No, all those who claim to be secular, they are actually hypocrites. They want to, under the garb of secularism, they only want to indulge in Hindu bashing, Hindu persecution, and they want to give it a larger canvas of secularism. Trinamool Congress runs West Bengal government like a mafia. I think it's a mafia. It's not a political party.
Would you agree?
And where the entire bureaucracy
Pavan
is
Verma,
under the fear.
Would you agree,
and they
sir?
cannot run. They have subverted
When ministers
the
come
entire
out and
administrative
says,
system.
when a
We
minister
have asked
comes out
Election
and says
Commission of
in
India,
public,
we have
there is nothing
requested
called
Election
democracy,
Commission of India. Can I
every
complete?
trick should be used
Let
in
me
the
do
book
it.
to win, even if it
It's
means thrashing central forces. What does that constitute? And let me remind
We
our
have
viewers,
requested the Election Commission to declare
the parent
Bengal
of the Trinamool Congress,
a super sensitive state.
okay, the parent of the Trinamool Congress, the Congress party suspended
We had
democracy.
already demanded.
And when Miss Kar, Ratna Ghosh Kar comes out and says there is nothing called democracy, there is nothing called democracy, she's only echoing a deep pathology that runs through perhaps this ideological underling of the Congress party. Pavan Verma.
No, I just want to say, Rahul, first of all, I do want to say that I really look at what we have shown today, and I also add my voice in congratulating you on your investigative journalism. I want to see this as a citizen observing what is happening to the democratic processes in my country.
Well said.
I do not want this incident to be unnecessarily seen only in the polarity of Hindu versus Muslim.
Absolutely.
The fact is that both Hindus and Muslims are citizens of India.
Absolutely.
And I want to say that when I heard the footage with regard to the minister, I say this objectively, to provide sanction to violence in the name of democracy is to insult democracy.
Well,
and it does not matter which party does it or which politician does it.
Well, sir, that's the reality.
Are we going to have a sane democracy, or are we going to have a democracy
We can only
Where we
save
use
democracy
violence
when
to
we begin
achieve
to ask the
winnability.
right questions of the right people and not try to brush things under the carpet.
Yes, and the right
quarrel
question is
and
right
quarrel.
question
Well,
does not
sir,
have
well,
religious
sir,
color
well,
on it,
sir.
Rahul.
At least we have the
Rahul,
guts
right
to
question
show
does not have
what you,
religious color
sir,
on it.
what you today are trying to bury under the carpet. If you had half the conviction, sir, of Tamal Saha, you would today knock on the EC's door and say, Mea culpa, we are wanting a recount in this entire election because we want to uphold the true essence of democracy, where each of our citizens equally has the right to decide the future of this country. It's a universal franchise, sir. Each ballot is equal to the other ballot cast in any other part of this country, and it should matter. I'll leave it at this. Navika Kumar giving you more details as this investigation gets deeper, viewers. Stay with us.